Hi, welcome in to Running Mouths with CHD. I'm your coach, Josh, and today we're going to talk about picking a race. But before we do that, I just want to talk about the long run and what I used and how I felt on the week before. So I'll probably try to do that every week and let you know what's going on with me. Once again, my diet is I try to eat whole foods mostly, probably 90 to 10% whole foods and 90% whole foods and 10% not whole foods, right? And kind of low carb, but not to like the keto. It's more like maybe 80 to 60 carbs a day. But with my planning, I did strive to get a lot of carbs while I am running on race week. I do not want to do carb loading the day before running my long run. But I didn't get to do that this week. I do plan on doing it this week. Just because I had a birthday week, and a lot of people in my family have birthdays, and so they all want to go out to eat, and it's just really hard to pick stuff, I guess, when you're out eating out all the time. Anyways, so I definitely think before I did my long run this week that I probably had like the 250 carbohydrates, which actually the run itself was really good. It was pretty amazing. I didn't bring any Tailwind. That was the product that I chose for this season of the race. Basically, it's like one of the only ones that have carbohydrates in them, meaning sugar. And obviously, I know that that's processed food and it's not whole food. But I did kind of struggle with finding something that's whole food that would eat on the 100 miler. And I researched and researched and researched, and it was just, I don't know. This could be really hard to do. Whole foods, obviously, I guess whole wheat pasta is a whole food, but I guess it's still processed, which is very confusing. And brown rice and stuff like that. I guess you could try to take that on in your long run. Anyways, I don't eat rice and I don't eat pasta. Anyways, so I'm just gonna do the Tailwind and then do dried blueberries and then raisins and then potassiums. I guess 1/4 of a cup of raisins and then 1/4 of a cup of potassiums every hour is what I was planning on doing with some Tailwind, a half a packet of Tailwind, which would give you 25 carbohydrates. And then do the raisins, the blueberries, and pistachios, and that would give you your other 30 grams. So then you're having 60 grams of carbohydrates. Anyways, I only ran for 2 hours, and so 10 miles, right? I usually average about 12-minute miles. So I didn't feel like I needed that much carbohydrates, I guess, for the shorter distance. But I do plan on doing the tailwind and everything when I get to the higher mileages for sure. And I don't think I'll probably do it this week either. So won't be able to give you any knowledge on that and let you know how it's doing. And hopefully, if it works, it's great. If it doesn't work, hopefully I can tell you about it before you try it. So if you're on kind of like this similar diet that I'm on. Anyways, I kind of on the whole foods diet because it's I'm fascinated with longevity, so it just seems to be a way to live longer in a sense. Obviously, not running 100 miles gets you to live longer, but I think working out every day and eating right definitely can help you live longer. With all the research that I've done, confirms kind of that. So obviously, there's a big dive you can go into with whole foods, and I'll talk about that on another episode. But yeah, I went on the long run this week, and it was pretty good. Felt great, and like I said, I preloaded the carbs the day before, which I had to get 250 carbs for sure. And everything went great. So this week, got back to my lifestyle, and so just been eating those 68 to 80 carbs, and I don't plan on preloading on carbs the day before on my long run. So I'll let you know how it goes. Anyway, so picking a schedule, picking a race, there's lots of races to pick out. I guess you first want to figure out what your goal is, how far you want to run would be the first thing I would think. I would say that anybody can run any distance. Racing is mental as well. So, if you believe you can do it, then you can do it. So it's all about the mindset. So I would say picking a 10K versus 100 miler. Whether you pick a 100 miler, a 50 miler, a marathon, or a 10K, or a half marathon, definitely the mindset to think, I can do it, and I will do it. But obviously, if you've never ran before and you just decide to run a 100 miler, that's great. I would encourage that. But your training probably needs to be a little bit longer. It does help to have experience from running a marathon first, or running an ultra, maybe a 50K or 50 miler before you run a 100 miler. It just helps to have the experience. But definitely not necessary. So I hope that can help your decision in picking a race. So I would encourage to pick any distance that you believe in your mind that you can do. But yeah, the first hurdle is believing you can do it. That's the biggest hurdle. So if you don't believe you can do it, then maybe don't sign up for that race. So just have the positive mindset that you can do it, and then pick it. So picking your race, picking your race. So there's lots of races to pick from. So once you get your distance, once you figure out that, then you want to decide if it's going to be a road race, right, or a trail race. You want to pick from those. What do you like running on? And there's different kinds of trail races. There's the ones in the mountain where you have to be looking at your feet the whole time because there's tree roots and stuff. And then there's like trail races where it's almost like a road race, but it's not because it has mulch on it, but there's no like tree roots. Those are the kinds I like. But then most races, if you go to the website, I've written down, if you live in the United States, the best site that I've come across is runningintheus.com, and that site is so great with eliminating the kind of races you want to pick and where in the U.S. that they are, and it's just an awesome site to pick a race. So yeah, so once again, that's runningintheus.com, and that website helps you pick a race. So once you figure out that whether you want to do road or trail, right? So you got your distance, you got your trail and road, then it'll say on the side of the race usually about how difficult it is. So meaning that what the elevation is, which could determine how difficult the race is. So some races can be 20,000 elevation, and some races can be 1,000 elevation in the distance that you're running. So that might be a big factor if you're running, if you're training in Oklahoma, right? I think that state is pretty flat. Maybe Kansas too. If you're running in those states, right? Or if you live close to a desert or something way out west, and your training is constantly on a flat surface, and you sign up for a race in the mountains, which you're thinking, oh yeah, this is going to be great. I love the mountains, right? But it might not be practical, right? Because if you didn't train for the environment that you're going to be in, it's going to be a really tough race for sure. So just keep that with an open mind, when you're picking out the race, that you look at the elevation before you give the people your money and before you sign up, because usually these races do not hand out refunds. So you sign up for this race, you're all excited because it had some nice pictures or whatnot, or it's in the mountain, it looks so beautiful. But then you look on there and it says like a 15K elevation, or all this stuff, or how hard it's going to be. Then you're like, oh no, what have I done? So, yeah, you want to be able to train in the elements. And I'm not saying that someone in Oklahoma and someone out west or somebody that has flat terrain can't do those races. Just saying it's going to be a lot harder. Also, there's treadmills with 40% incline, which I guess you could train on those on some days. So it's definitely doable, but I'm just saying be mindful when you're searching for the race, and be mindful and look at everything before you sign up, whether it's how many drop bags there are, how many aid stations there are. Are you someone that loves aid stations? Do you want to be a minimalist? Are you going to have a pacer when you run? They're going to carry all your stuff. So this is some stuff to consider picking out a race. So I did briefly look up some other countries to find some websites that would be helpful for maybe some of the listeners in other countries. So anyways, I looked up English-speaking countries, since I speak English. But I mean, it's pretty simple, whether you're in another country or not. Just use Google and just type in running races you could do, and hopefully something will just pop up for you, and you can try that way. But in Canada, I tried a couple, but the one that I liked the most in Canada was findarace.com/ca. Once again, that's findarace.com/ca. And that's one I kind of liked in Canada. In Australia, the one I kind of liked was runningcalendar.com.au. And the one in the UK that I kind of liked was timeoutdoors.com. .uk, I could imagine. I don't know why I didn't write UK. Usually it has the .uk in the website, I'd imagine, if it's in the UK. But I guess in Europe, it's a little different because it looked like there was 5 different sections. And I guess you guys can move freely from country to country with your passports, I guess. So maybe it's not an issue for you guys to just pick any race, whether it's in another country or not. But I guess in America, if you did want to run in the UK, you'd probably have to get a visa for that country, and maybe a visitor visa or whatnot. I've never ran in another country just to run, so I wouldn't know really how to do that. But anyways, yeah, going on that website in the UK, yeah, they had 5 different sections that you could pick from, 5 different zones in Europe. So, and I know Europe's pretty big. So, anyways, yeah. So, and also a great website in the United States. Back to the United States here. Was ultrasignup.com. That was a good one, I found. And then runningintheus.com was definitely my favorite. I mean, it was so easy to just filter, right? Because there's so many races, right? So you just want to find a website with a good filter, so you're not looking at so many. And so, yeah, hopefully that helps. once again, you can always email me, and I'd be happy to be your coach. You can email me at runningmouse at chd, oh no, runningmousechd@gmail.com is my email, and be happy to coach you and conquer the distance of your choosing. Also, with picking a race, you also be mindful of the distance, not the distance of the race, but the distance from your house to the race. How you're going to get there, how much is going to cost. You're going to probably want to form some kind of budget for picking a race. I guess the further the race, the more stuff you're going to need, and the more money it's going to cost. So, be mindful of that. Also, with picking a race, you want to think about what time of year it's going to be. I would say, and how long is it going to take you to train for the race. So I would say picking a schedule and picking a race, kind of like almost two peas in a pod, right? So, but that would be next episode. But picking a race, whether it's a 50 miler, 100 miler, a 10K, and your fitness level, all that stuff comes to account with picking a race, because you want to give yourself enough time to train, right? And there's two ways of doing this. You could pick a race and then train for the race, right? Or you can just go ahead and start training and then pick a race while you're training. So there's two ways you can do that as well. But I kind of prefer picking a race first and then training for it. That's how I kind of do it. But there's not a right or wrong way. You can do whatever is best for you, right? And but I would say that be mindful of the seasons and be mindful of the weather, right? I like running in the summer or the fall. Why? Well, I don't like the cold weather. So, but there's plenty of runners that love the cold weather, and they hate running in the heat and the humidity. But I'm opposite. I like running in the heat and humidity. So, everybody's different, and there's, once again, no right or wrong way to race. Just hopefully you have a preference. If you don't, I guess running for a year, you'll probably figure out which seasons that you like the best. I think everybody probably likes the fall or the spring, but once again, you might not, depending on your location. Maybe the spring it rains a lot, or if you live in Canada, you don't have a fall. It kind of goes summer to winter. So at least on the west coast of Canada. So I guess it's all where you live or where you're picking the race. Be mindful of the season where you pick the race. If you are planning on going to a different country to race a race, be mindful of their seasons and their weather, so you can train appropriately for those conditions. And if you do a 100-miler, right? Since we're talking about a 100-miler this season, if you're doing a 100-miler, I don't know how long your schedule is going to be, but you could train in the spring and then do the race in the fall. And so you're training in the spring, summer, and fall. Or if you're doing 100 in the spring, right, then you're training in the fall, winter, and then the spring. So, if it's going to take you that long. I believe my schedule is about 5 months for running 100-miler, which we'll talk about in the next episode. But I don't know if that's a lot or not. I don't think it's a long time. I'm trying to do a shorter schedule so I don't get injured, because I have been injury prone. So, but I'll talk about that in the next episode. But yeah, so picking a race, you just want to be mindful of the seasons, and yeah, and I can help you with that in determining. Yeah, there's lots of stuff to think about when you're picking the race. Whether you're picking a race when you've already started training and you know that you're doing 100-miler and you've already started training for it, but you haven't picked a race. Whether you pick a race like that, or you have to first pick out the race and then start training. So, I like to find what I like to do, which is not the right way or not, but I like to find the perfect race for me and then start to train, because I know I can look maybe 2-3 months ahead and pick the race, and then have time to think about it, and then start training, create a schedule, and get all the stuff that I need, and then start to train. So yeah, I hope this episode's been helpful for you with picking a race. I know most of it's like common sense, right? But maybe I said something that you didn't even think about. So, and if that's true, then hopefully it can help you picking a race out. But once again, I'm sorry if I didn't pick your country. Once again, I think you should be able to find a race by just Googling a running race in your country, and something should pop up for you to help you. Okay. Other than that, thanks for listening, and I hope you guys have a great day and enjoy running this week. Okay, and I hope to hear from you soon.